Matthew was enjoying his morning coffee while checking his emails when a tap on the shoulder startled him. It was his manager's manager, Karen Kingston. Karen asked Matthew to follow him to a conference room where they could talk. The walk through the maze of cubicles seemed to be abnormally longer than usual as they made their way to a familiar conference room. It also seemed to be quieter than normal. As they approached the conference room, Matthew's heart began to race. He could see two other people were sitting at the table awaiting his arrival. One he recognized as the building's security person, and the other was a woman he didn't recognize. As Matthew walked in, both people rose. The security person smiled politely and walked out of the room. The security guard didn't go far. In fact, he closed the door and stood outside the room. Matthew knew then he was waiting to escort him out of the building. The woman introduced herself with a smile, hand extended as Julie Jeffries from Human Resources. Matthew began to sweat as his adrenaline was now surging his blood rapidly through his veins. He felt his heart was coming up his throat while thinking to himself, "This is not good." 2 weeks prior, Matthew received an email from a buddy in another department. The email contained an off-color advertisement from the 1950s. Matthew thought it was funny and forwarded it to his team. His team consisted of his manager, Mike, his assistant manager, Jane, and two other colleagues, Liz and Sean. Nothing was ever said to Matthew, and no one commented about it to each other. It was as though nothing happened. It was much later that it was learned that Matthew's manager, Mike, forwarded it to one of his colleagues. Jane and Liz deleted it and brushed it off as immature. And Sean was highly offended by it. Or maybe it was he didn't like Matthew. Regardless, he sent it to HR. Today, Matthew, the buddy who sent the original email, and a few others who chose to forward it are losing their jobs. When they received the email, they had a critical choice to make: to delete it or to forward it. Email is powerful. It leaves a breadcrumb trail. It identifies everyone who receives it and those who forward it. We sometimes forget we don't own it because it's in our own name, but it belongs to the company, and we can expect no privacy. And we need to treat it as it should be, as representatives of the company. Email is how our company communicates, and all of our emails are monitored, recorded, so they can be used in investigations by regulatory and government agencies. Today you will learn about some of the do's and don'ts of using the company's email. Select the next button to continue learning about your responsibilities.